name is Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Features.
How did I do?
That was fun. I kind of liked it.
Did you actually?
Yeah, that was. It went up at the end there. It was enjoyable.
I know. I was going for like a bird.
Yeah,
like a tropical bird.
A tropical bird. Ooh, I do love a good tropical bird. Well, this is Double Trouble Features, the weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, television, entertainment, and just what's on these damn screens.
Yeah, and again, my eyes are burning after another fun week. We got a great show for you. Joe, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to get into the Grey's Anatomy of it all.
Ooh.
Just to talk about that a little bit. We're going to be talking about some movies. I just saw a movie that was boycotted for a minute, and then everyone kind of forgot, and so I went and saw it. And then what did you see?
I saw some kaiju action.
Ooh.
If you don't know what that is, you know what it is.
I like a good kaiju.
Yeah.
You know me and my tentacles.
Then we're going to talk about our TV recommendations of the week. And then, of course, our big topic today, best kid television shows.
And channels. We're just going to kind of open dialogue, freeball it, just to see what happens when we talk about these kids shows. It's in the media. We're talking about it, and I have a lot of thoughts.
Woo.
All right, so we've been seeing some announcements in entertainment, and one definitely caught our eye, and that would be Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, it picked up its 21st season. Can you believe that?
God, we were just children, just little babies.
Like 2005.
When Patrick Dempsey and Ellen Pompeo stepped on the scene and said, "This is it. This is our world now."
Like, I was literally 10.
I was 11. I was deep in the private Christian school. That's probably why I never watched it.
So I used to watch it with my mom. Like every weeknight we would be watching this in the house, and because we loved our medical shows, like we love.
How much of it have you seen?
I've probably watched at least like 8 seasons.
That's interesting. I've only seen the first episode.
That's it?
That's all I've seen.
That's it?
That's all I saw. Because I went over to this guy's house and he wanted me to watch this show. And he was like, it was this guy I was seeing at the time, and he was like, "You have to at least watch the first episode with me." And I was like, "Sure."
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, "Sure, I'll watch it." And then it happened. I was like, that was the most dramatic hospital thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like a Netflix and chill kind of like watch this
That's
episode?
none of your business.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But here's all the things that's happened since. So the iPhone came out.
Yeah, it did.
Wasn't out when that happened. Taylor Swift wasn't even a thing. Not till 2006. Spotify wasn't a thing. I'm an Apple Music kind of guy.
Boo.
MCU wasn't a thing.
No.
Netflix wasn't a thing.
Did we even have Wi-Fi back then?
That's a good question.
Did we? Because when I was
question.
11, I'm thinking back of when Wi-Fi first started coming around, and it was when I was 12, 13.
I got Wi-Fi when I was I think 13.
I mean, we didn't get Wi-Fi until I was in high school.
I had to, because that's how I played video games. I was downstairs and I had to get Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I didn't have video games.
Yeah.
So that was never a problem.
Twitter wasn't a thing. Yeah, PS3 wasn't a thing.
Was Facebook a thing?
Facebook, I think.
Barely, maybe.
Facebook's a year older.
Okay.
Yeah, the Harvard Facebook days.
Because this was 2006, right? 2005. Jesus.
Yeah. So, and YouTube is only 3 months older than Grey's Anatomy. Remember the good days of YouTube?
I mean, back no. Great.
It was just a lawless land.
God. Magic Man Charlie. No, it's really interesting just seeing how far they've come. And also just this show has just been at the cultural zeitgeist for years. Back in the day, I mean, at the height of it, I mean, it was book club. People, it was mandatory weekly viewing. You didn't know who she's McDreamy or McSteaming. Again, remember, I've only seen one episode, but I know those words. Yep. I've seen all these things. I know about Ellen.
So hot.
Yeah, that's a really hot doctor.
It's a hot cast.
I mean, that's kind of the point. I mean, nobody wants to see Uggo doctors.
Facts. So my question to you is, congrats to Grey's Anatomy. Is there a TV show out there like now that could go 21 or even just 20 seasons. There's not that many that have done it.
I mean, I'd be interested. I'm also interested because this was a Shonda Rhimes show.
Yeah.
This is like her first
Yeah.
like foray, like that we really started like appreciating Shonda Rhimes, and and the empire that she's built off of it. So I'm interested to see with her newer shows if they're gonna take off, because I mean, people are foaming at the mouth for Bridgerton. I'm one of them.
Bridgerton's not going to go 20 seasons, though.
How do we know?
Is there 20 books?
Oh, because Game of Thrones really cared about that, didn't they?
I mean, they didn't go 20 seasons because HBO would have gave them 20 seasons, but here we are.
with new seasons of House of the Dragon. But
God.
And then they went into different books, and it's not the same show. But
I think the only show that's like out right now that's on like cable television, I think Abbott could get 20 seasons because that's just like, your standard ha 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 comedy kind of show. And I think comedy shows are the easiest one to just keep going.
Those
and
sitcoms,
going. Yeah, those sitcoms. But a drama, I don't think we'll ever see it like anything like
no,
this.
because sometimes, I mean, so what's interesting about Grey's Anatomy is, and from what I understand, is that it does kind of have a revolving cast of characters, and that is.
Yeah, for the most
that's
part.
like, but that's like also part of the plot, like, and part of being an intern at a at a hospital is people come and people go, and that's a very normal aspect of life. I would say for a while there, I thought The Office was gonna get that.
Office has nowhere near as many seasons.
No.
But like also I'm just thinking like most network shows, get canceled, get cut, something like they don't last. And they won't last.
No.
Because networks like, you're not making me enough money and I'm ready to go to the next show.
What's interesting about it though is I am curious if Ellen Pompeo ever does decide to leave, like how much of a show they'll have left, because she's like the one through line of all of it, because she's still like all up in that. Doing everything. I mean, they even had like a spinoff that only lasted like a couple seasons, Private Practice.
And again, exactly. That's why it's like very hard. I think like you have that, like NCIS is the show, Law and Order. Law and Order, you can go.
Doesn't Law and Order have a bunch of seasons?
Yeah. Yeah, it has over 20 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those and so I think that's where we get into like the idea of like procedurals.
Yeah.
And like it does change every week and it goes every week. And like, but like we go through the things. It's kind of like, I don't know, as long as you're able to keep that story fresh and keep the characters moving and interesting and have natural conclusions to those stories.
Okay, Grey's Anatomy is not all natural conclusions sometimes. And sometimes you're like, bro, this is impossible.
But that's kind of the fun of it, isn't it? Like anything could happen.
True.
At any point, a penis fish could just swim upstream and ruin it. See, I know about that storyline.
All right, Jesus Christ, you made me kind of feel a little uncomfortable.
Good. That's what Grey's Anatomy does.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now we're getting into the movies that we've seen this week. What did you see this week, Jordan?
All right, so definitely saw probably one of the biggest movies, like blockbuster movies, that's going to come out this year.
That's crazy that it came out in March.
Yeah, like you would think that this would be a May to June kind of movie.
Yeah.
Or like perfect time would probably be like 4th of July. But I really think that other movies have those time slots, and so they're just trying to give Godzilla versus Kong, the new empire, its own spot.
Is it versus Kong or X Kong?
X Kong versus Kong, same.
No, it's not.
It's the same. But anyway, so I saw the best kaiju, Godzilla. Okay, like here's my thing. Godzilla's him. Like, if you just take a snippet of this entire episode, I'm going to sound stupid as hell, but I don't care. Godzilla is him.
Like
Godzilla will beat the hell out of anybody who goes up to him.
That's why he's known as Godzilla.
Godzilla. The ultimate kaiju. You can't mess with Godzilla, okay?
That's why the whole like Godzilla versus Kong and why I made that stupid annoying thing is because like in Godzilla versus Kong, who is gonna win? The big monkey or the fucker who can shoot atomic bombs out of his fucking throat?
Bro, that's crazy.
Like what was stupid? And so then obviously who's gonna win? The guy who's shooting fucking nuclear bombs out of his throat.
And then, oh no, we're gonna give Kong a freaking axe that can take that attack.
And that's okay, sure. Go
Yeah,
off, girlie.
no.
But now he's purple or pinkish and beautiful.
So this is basically the plot. All right. So from the last movie, Godzilla is just fighting off anybody who's trying to, that's alive. Like anybody's making noise, another Titan, he's gonna go up and kill him. Godzilla's chilling in the hollow earth, which is like beneath the surface. He's chilling. He's doing his own thing, but you can tell he's lonely. He needs a pack. And so
a pack
yeah.
of Godzillas?
No, a pack of Kongs.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants some more apes. He needs some apes around him. And so so basically what happens is Kong goes looking through in the hollow earth trying to find his people. And he finally discovers this subterranean place. And he sees a bunch of other fucking monkeys. They attack him, but then he's like, yeah, me. But then, so he goes, explores that world and tries to find their tribe. Godzilla then wakes up and he's like, oh shit, there's a problem. Somebody's calling me. Somebody wants me to defend them. So Godzilla has like a training monologue the whole movie. So he goes around to other Titans and just starts fucking them up for no reason. He just goes over. Oh, you're what? Boom, kills them. Oh, you're what? Boom, kills them. And so you basically find out that like there is this one powerful monkey, Scar.
His name is not Scar.
I swear to God.
Oh my
I swear to
God. Does he have a scar?
He does.
Oh, that's crazy. We really took a big swing with that one, didn't we?
Yes. And so Scar, I guess, was the original monkey that Godzilla fought back in the day. And so now Godzilla got to basically charge up to fight him. And then Kong confronts him. And I'm not going to spoil the rest, but you should already know because it's a kaiju movie with Godzilla and Kong, so you should understand what happens.
I'm so confused. But also that does sound like the plot of a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like I was like, nothing really happens, but there's a lot of fighting, and then something does happen, and then there's a lot of fighting, and then it's over.
So my whole take, they try to make it very scientific and try to make it like some plausible. I think that's for like Reddit nerds who are like, oh, this can't happen. This can't happen because blah 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 blah. No, bro. So like they try to like put their 2 cents into, but like Brian Tyree Henry, he's the comedic relief, funny as hell in the movie. Everybody else, very forgettable. I mean, they are forgettable. Who cares? You really don't care about the whole plot line with them. They're doing this whole entire thing at like
God, bring back Millie Bobby Brown.
They had this one girl who was on Kong's island when they first find her. She's trying to find her place in the world.
I think I need to go back. I'm not gonna lie, I like Godzilla a lot, obviously. But I'm not the biggest King Kong fan.
What?
I know.
King Kong over Godzilla. Like personality wise. Fight wise, yes, Godzilla wins all day, every day.
I don't know. I like Godzilla more. I think he's just got a little bit more swagger to him.
Godzilla is literally just a killing monster.
Exactly.
Okay, like
I like him big, tall, and murderous.
So in the first scene, Godzilla's got to fight this fucking squid monster, and so he just
sounds like exactly what I'm gonna watch later tonight.
Destroys all of Rome. Just destroys all of Rome.
Who needed it?
Just oh my God, it's Godzilla.
Well,
like if you're really honest, this movie showed a lot of fucking death.
Yeah,
like,
all of them do.
There's no way like millions of people did not just die.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're just going to brush it off
but
like
I mean,
nothing really happened.
I think we forget about that in a lot of movies. Like in the Avengers, so many people die,
Yes.
and nobody thinks about it.
No.
Like Chicago, like when they fucked New York up.
Yeah.
The only time they kind of talk about it is in Transformers because they directly talk about it in the plot of the next movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's mad because the Transformers destroyed all of Chicago.
Yeah, no. So there's a lot of death in this movie. Godzilla makes a Coliseum in like his little bed. So he goes to sleep in it. It's very
Okay.
cute. It's actually kind of cute.
Aww.
Yeah. But yeah, no. If you're looking for a movie to like just turn that brain off and just let it go,
Ooh, that sounds perfect.
it's a slow start. I will 100% admit, like you see a couple fights, but then after that, you're like, do we have to talk about like the science shit and everything like that? It's like, I need the fights. But once it starts going, it goes.
Mhm.
And you're just like kaiju fight after kaiju.
It just kind of sounds like Godzilla's best hits.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm so fine
enjoy
with
that thoroughly.
Like, so I would give the movie solid 7, like a 7.5. Like
7.5. It was just a good action movie.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
like, it was very enjoyable. And like to be honest, like I think like we need these kind of movies. So right now, currently, it's the #1 box office like globally in the
Mhm.
world. And like I just think that people just sometimes just need those movies. Like when like Martin Scorsese and like other people are talking about like how Marvel movies are ruining cinema and stuff like that. It's like, no, we need some movies where I can just turn my brain off and just watch two giant fucking monsters just attack and kill each other.
I agree. I think that, I mean, you and I talk about this pretty regularly, is like the snobbery of it all. It's like, you think you're
Yes.
better than a Godzilla movie? Fuck off. Then you just much hate all of Japan. You're racist. That's
Yeah.
that's what I think.
No, it's the serious drama movies have their place for art, but at the same time, I need this trash over here
But this is like,
as its own
I wouldn't
art.
even call it trash. It's just fun, and
Yeah,
this,
it's fun.
and I think that's it. What's interesting is like everyone talks about and jokes about on TikTok is nobody knows how to have fun anymore, and like it's kind
Yeah.
of true. People wouldn't be saying it ad nauseum if it weren't true. Like, shut the fuck up and watch the movie and enjoy it. Why do you have to like go into the actual like?
Death plot, build a whole entire Reddit thread over it, and that's why the first part of Godzilla is slow, because of you people who are judging the entire time about the plausibility of a fucking giant lizard and a fucking monkey fighting each other.
And that's kind of the thing, is like it does end up sounding a little bit silly because we're sitting here trying to explain this pseudo fake science around something that does not exist, and we shouldn't have to explain every incremental thing about it. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, I don't need to know that it would have been actually impossible for Luke to shoot the little things into that one little hole and blow up the Death Star. They're like, well, technically, if he was flying at this speed, blah, blah, blah. I've seen those.
I'm not gonna lie. It did throw off the entire physics. I still don't understand.
No, because he used the Force.
Hey.
And that's what I'm saying, is like, this is a movie about Space Wizard. This is a movie about a giant lizard and King Kong. If you really have to think about it that hard, just go watch something else and stop whining on Reddit.
Hey, you know what? Like, I love Reddit, but I do hate when like people get too serious in this shit. And it's like, again,
It's like, oh, did your big lizard movie not absolutely follow the scientific method? Fuck off.
fuck off, Godzilla. That's your fun, typical fighty movie. What movie did you watch?
I watched a horror movie.
Great.
Horror movies are having a great surge right now. I think people are really starting to enjoy them and really like them. So last night I saw Late Night with the Devil, and
Ooh, yeah.
I really, really liked it. I did enjoy it. There is some controversy surrounding this film. A lot of people wanted it boycotted due to its use of generative AI. There's a lot of conversations around AI and its place in film and what it was. The directors have been a little cagey about what was actually used for AI, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to tell because it's shot in like that kind of 70s grainy thing. So what the
Yeah.
movie is it is it's like a documentary slash found footage film of this late night broadcast that happened in the 70s. This man, Jack Dorsey, I think this is his name, Jack Dorsey. We're just gonna call him Jack because I know that's right. He is somebody who is a late night show in Chicago. He does really well and gets a national syndication. Now he is always getting number 2. He's always getting that second in the rating spot under some made up man, Carson. And so he's just always talking about how he needs to get those ratings. So he ends up going through all this stuff, having all these successes, but then all of a sudden his wife gets cancer. She dies tragically. It was really weird because she got lung cancer and wasn't a smoker. So she
Back in the 70s?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
But secondhand smoke, I guess. But so she passes away, and he ends up hitting a really rough patch. But then, like a month later, he's back on TV, and he's just doing this weird ass shit, like almost like a Maury type television show. And everyone's like, "You used to be the man. What happened?" So, cue in to this night, which is the last recording of his show and all this stuff, where it is Halloween night, which I'm kind of sad that they didn't release this on Halloween. Like that would have made it a lot more fun because it was on Halloween night and he's doing a Halloween special and he's bringing on all these guests. So he brings on a medium and he brings on a skeptic who's like,
hell no.
And then he also brings,
hell no.
And then he also brings on somebody who just wrote a book called Conversations with the Devil.
Nope.
Yes.
If I'm in that crowd audience, and I hear all this, I'm walking away.
I know, like I can't imagine.
Going
Like
home.
so, they're going through it, and so this woman, she wrote this book based off of her life with this girl. This girl who she ended up taking on as a client, but also kind of adopting. Like she's like a full caretaker for this child. And what this child's backstory is, she was a part of the Church of Abraxas, which was a demon, and they were giving human sacrifices to this demon,
no.
and it ended up having like a shootout with the law and all this stuff, and then they ended up burning the house down, and the only survivor was this little girl who was taken.
You kill that little girl.
Who was taken in by the doctor. So they're going through things, and it is a little bit of a slow burn. You're kind of like getting the sense of it. It's a little creepy at first because the medium, and he's like picking up on some weird shit, but like he's going back and forth. And then the skeptic is just dogging him. He's just giving him hell. And then the main guy, Jack, is like, I don't know. I kind of believe in this stuff. And then they're going into all of these other aspects, but then they bring out the girl, and she's so fucking creepy.
No.
She's
run away.
she's just sitting there staring into the camera every time, and like anytime it moves, anytime she's just like staring directly into and it looks like she's staring into your fucking soul, and I hate it so much. And what I was worried about was there, like in these slow burn movies, there's like almost like the climax scene, like it's like it's the payoff. It's like it's so crazy. It could have happened. And I was really worried that it wasn't going to happen because there was one scene that I thought was the climax scene. And I was like, oh, if that was it, I'm going to be so disappointed. But then there's the actual climax scene where shit goes fucking bananas. Everything goes crazy. You're not really sure what you're seeing. It does explain everything and like why it happened and what happened, but it gets really deep into this man's life and what he's done. And I don't know. I was genuinely creeped out at multiple parts. It wasn't a traditional
as you should.
It wasn't a traditional like all the time, but it did have some scary parts. It had some good jump scares. It did have like this overall creepiness to it. If you are creeped out by demons or demonic entities, I do think that like the demon scenes in this movie are actually pretty good. Like they're fairly enjoyable. And remember that there's a skeptic in the room the whole time. So he's just dogging on everyone. And it adds this air of like, kind of like he adds thing of like, is this real or is this fake? Is this real or is this television? Is this guy faking it or is it real? And nobody really knows. And so that's kind of like the fun aspect of it. But you do find out at the end if it's real.
So to me, I'm not trying to find out if it's real or fake. I'm just going to get out. I'm gone. I'm not being part of these kind of situations.
So what's interesting about this is it does dive into the idea of satanic panic and the occult. And at the time all of this stuff was happening, a lot of people were very frightened of the idea of demons and the devil and all this. But a lot of those things that happened back then were very unfounded. A lot of deaths were blamed on like these demonic cults that didn't even exist. So it's kind of interesting to see like on a retrospect what's going on. Now, when it comes to the use of AI, I couldn't really tell because everything was shot and so grainy, but I do have one thing to say, and I'm fucking sick of it. I am so tired of movies being in the small frame, not the 16:9, but the old television style. I understand that it's an artistic choice, but it's happening so much now, and I'm just exhausted from it because it's like we just don't need to do that. Like it does not. Very rarely does it add to the film.
Would you rather have that or the fisheye, like in Poor Things, where like literally the whole camera's a fisheye?
Well, I didn't know that because I still haven't seen Poor Things.
Yeah, no, the whole first bit of it.
But it's been on my list. But I think I would rather the fisheye because like I just it's what's annoying about it is like all I'm seeing is great. We're using half the screen.
Yeah. No facts.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It like I understand that it's an aesthetic choice and it's something that we liked and it's something that we lived through. But baby, we don't live through that anymore. We don't. Everything's widescreen. Everything's beautiful. Like I don't need whatever this stupid thing is. It's getting.
I hate the bottom.
Oh
the
yeah. No,
I want you to use it full. If I go to the movie theaters to go see a movie. I want you to use the whole movie. Now, if it's on my TV, it is what it is. But if I go to the movie theaters, you need to have the projector perfectly calibrated to the entire screen.
Now,
and I just need it all.
And now I will say with this movie, it was a little interesting because it was kind of showing like what was real life and what was on screen, like for the TV show. And so it kind of bounced back and forth a little bit. So I understood somewhat the narrative decision, but like I'm just tired of it. And I'm tired of seeing it. I don't want half the screen. I don't need a letterbox. I don't know what we're trying to prove or what we're trying to what we're trying to do. And I understand it is a creative decision that is made by creatives.
He doesn't understand.
But I understand that it is your decision to do that. I don't understand why you were making that decision.
Guys, moral of a story, use the full screen.
Use the full screen. It's all there. Why are we wasting space? Fucking stupid. I'm getting kind of hungry, Jordan. Do you have something for me to eat?
All right, I'm starving. But let me tell you the best cooking show that's out there.
The best.
The absolute best. All right, so unless you're living on a rock, you know that right now it is March Madness season. Shout out Caitlin Clark for being
hell
goated.
Yeah.
But what I think is better than March Madness.
Oh Jesus.
Like a facts. It is called Tournament of Champions. And if you don't know who the host is, you know by his hair, it is Guy Fieri's show.
Oh.
Yes, it's on Max Food Network, and when I tell you it's the best cooking show out there, it's the best.
Really? Why?
All right, so what happens is they take 32 chefs and rank them, and then they put them in brackets, and then they face off.
How do they rank them? Like based off their experience?
So based off how many restaurants you've had, how many like competitions you've won, how many years of experience you had. To get into the tournament, for some people, they had a round of like 16 people trying to fight for those 8 seeds.
Oh.
So like it's actually like legit.
Really intense.
Yeah, it's really intense. So basically they had 16 people fight to get 4 spots. And those are last spots on the bracket. This is season 5 of Tournament Champions. The number 1 seeds are all the past winners. And so here's what happens. So 1 goes against 8, 2, 7, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Again, they rate you how you did last season. They rate you on Michelin stars, how many restaurants you own, years of experience, and that's your ranking.
So these are like good chefs.
Yes.
And Guy Fieri's hosting it?
Guy Fieri's hosting it. No, they have Michelin star chefs. They have people with multiple restaurants like Jet Tila. They have Iron Chefs on this bitch.
I mean, no shade to Guy Fieri. I just mainly know him for like diners, drive-ins, and dives. So like, I think of him as like good food. I understand, but like
Mr. Food Network. He's on every show.
Fair enough. I do love some Guy's Grocery Games.
So what they do is they go to this thing called the randomizer. And so he literally just spins this giant wheel. And it's like protein. It is a side.
Oh my God.
It is a style. And then it is an equipment you have to use. Then they have a wild card.
This is worse than like the boxes.
Yeah.
The surprise boxes.
Chopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like basically you'll get some most obscure shit that's like, hey, we need you to use like lamb's tongue with fucking broccolini. I need it to be sweet and sour, and you have to use an air fryer. 30 minutes go.
Yeah, that's stressful.
No, 100%.
That's
super
crazy.
Stressful. And then what they do is they cook their foods. They're cooking. Then 3 judges that are like culinary, like Iron Chefs. They are like food reviewers on Food Magazine and stuff like that. And so like these are like legitimate people who are like the top of the top. And they're judging on these foods. And they judge you 50 points based on taste. They judge you 40 points on how you use the randomizer. So if it's not sweet and sour enough.
I like that there's a rubric. It's not just all feels and vibes and that kind of thing.
And then you get judged 10 points on presentation.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it's kind of like nerve-wracking. You have like people you root for. You have the Cinderella stories, like this, like an 8 seed beating a 1 seed, going all the way up. Like you have all, like, basically as a sports fan, you have everything you need. Like I have upsets, I have Cinderellas, I would bet on this. I would gamble on this.
That's like horrifying to think about.
You can gamble anything these days, but
DraftKings sponsor us.
No, but it's intense cooking, and also Guy Fieri is the host, so he has to taste everything.
Yeah,
there's a live crowd there.
Oh,
and it's fun. Like it's a fun environment. They have a good time playing. Like this one guy, Jet Tila, he's been on it. He's been in the Final Four for 4 seasons in a row and hasn't won. That's so like I'm rooting for him every time.
Sad.
It is sad.
You're sitting there and like, come on, man. Like why? But what's interesting about it is from that perspective, and what you've told me about the show is it's very technical, and it's very like you need to know how to be able to do these things with these kinds of products. It's not like, I feel like I talked about the surprise box, like you can kind of wing it with that. It's like you're just, I mean, you might not have tasted it, but you could taste it to see what's going on. With that, it's like you have to use these very specific items and you will be graded on it, and here's your rubric. And so it's kind of it makes sense that he's made it to the top 4 times and never won, because that's where his cooking stands in this technicality.
And like in Chopped, like you just have random people that are like, oh, I own this one restaurant, or I'm pretty good. Like this is like all professional. Like, no, like I've been cooking for 20 years. Like I've been Michelin trained. Like I am.
That's
like
crazy.
Top dog.
And I haven't heard about this.
Oh no, when I tell you it's fantastic, it's so
I didn't
fantastic.
even know there were 4 seasons. Like
4 seasons, 4 women straight back to back to back to back. No man has won yet.
Good.
So yeah, me and Morgan, our favorite guy is Jet Tila. Like he's a good dude. Like he's just a good guy and stuff like that. And he's just like, man, you really want him to win. Like being that close every time. There was one point in season 2, I think. There was a tie.
Oh.
And then usually what happens is they base off the next one off of taste. So just which one just tasted better.
Mm-hmm. But they couldn't
tied.
decide. Oh.
And so then they just had to do a cook-off right then and there.
Ooh.
Yes. So it's when I tell you it's fun, it's a great time. It's Guy Fieri. Like you can't
He's
hate
fun.
Guy
Yeah,
Fieri.
no. And apparently there's overtime, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Everything as a sports fan that I need is in it. So no, highly recommend.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out.
So yeah, I would definitely give Tournament of Champions a 10. It's a perfect cooking show. It's exactly what I want.
A 10 out of 10.
10 out of I can't see. There's only one. I would probably say there's probably 1 to 2 cooking shows out there that are better than Tournament of Champions.
Okay.
And yeah, this is near the top of the list.
Is that All Stars where they made them do TikToks of their food?
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Oh my god. I enjoyed that though.
I liked
fun.
it. It was
It's
fun. But Gordon Ramsay.
But like, it really wasn't that much cooking.
no, it was so confusing. Anyways.
And then they just forced people to cook that weren't cooks.
No,
and
and then
what are you doing?
They're like, I make cookies at home. This is all I do. This is my entire business.
The dude made like the drink.
One guy was just like, he's an app. He like ran an app.
Yes.
Like that's all he did. And he's just like, I made this app. Yeah, no. So not that one.
No. But speaking of things that are trendy, what'd you watch?
So I've been watching this show also on Max. The Girls on the Bus.
I've heard about it.
So-
I've got mixed reviews. Like, what do you think?
So, and I think the reviews are mixed because it's not done yet, and we're gonna see there. So we'll get into it. But basically, what this show is it is a modern day take on the book "The Boys on the Bus," which is a very famous book about this group of reporters. It's a nonfiction novel where they followed the presidential campaign. These reporters followed the presidential campaign of 1972, and everything that went into that. All this. This is a modern, updated version viewed from the eyes of women, because a lot of journalists now are women. I'm not saying all, I'm just saying like the media industry in general. I work in public relations. So like I understand this is like the media world in general is very women focused. A lot of the writers you're seeing in those bylines are written by women. And it's kind of interesting to see from that aspect. So what this does, it kind of takes these like different archetypes of modern women and puts them on the press bus for this next presidential election cycle. So you have Melissa Benoist, who plays Sadie McCarthy, and she's kind of your main character, but she's very like, I'm the cool reporter who's gonna like get the scoop, and she's like, and she like really like embodies like old school reporting and like what that is, and like what and how she can bring it to modern times, and she wants to be able to put her voice on things, but everyone's like, you need to be more objective, and like that's her whole inner struggle is like, in the news that we do, what we enjoy, what we like to read isn't necessarily what's objective.
Yeah, true.
Then you have Carla Gugino, my queen from the heavens. She's from Fall of the House of Usher. She's she was also in most people would know her from the Spy Kids movie as the mom. If that's where you know her from, you need to educate yourself a little more, but I'll give you a pass. Great actress. She plays more of the seasoned industry, really like hard-hitting journalist. Like she's got her stuff behind her, but she comes from her father, who was a famous reporter, and so she's like constantly trying to fight this inner battle of whether she's like really good or has nepotism tendencies, and like was she given her career
Nepo baby,
and so she does kind of and so you see her walk that line, and basically her biggest rebuttal is like, well, I'm not a nepo baby because I'm a woman, which obviously has issues in itself, but she always talks about how she had to work twice as hard, and she had to be twice as correct and get twice as many scoops than anyone else to prove that she wasn't a nepo baby. Moving down the line, the third one, I love her so much. She's Lola. She's Natasha Benham, and Lola is the influencer of the group.
Ah.
And so none of them take her seriously. They're giving her shit all the time, and like sometimes rightfully so, sometimes not, because like she's not a traditional reporter, and she does not have to be because she's an influencer. But she was invited on the press trip because obviously influencers are playing a large role in politics and social media,
Which is sad.
which is I think it's sad in some aspects. I think there are ways to do it correctly, and we just haven't figured that out yet.
Yep.
But this show kind of gets into that because, like, in the middle of her doing like a press tour, and she'll be like, "All right, and that was the senator from Iowa, and now if you go into my TikTok shop, you can go and get your and it's like, and so it's like
Yeah.
showing branded sponsored content in the same video as like political information. So like really like showing that and towing that line and understanding where it is. The fourth and final like real character of the show of this group of women that we're following is Kimberly, played by Christina Elmore. And she is a beautiful black woman working for Liberty Direct News, which is the fake Fox News affiliate. So she plays this kind of Candace Owens type character, and it's really interesting because she like calls the other three liberal media, and you're just out to get me and all this stuff. But she is a black woman working for Liberty Direct News and Fox News, and you see kind of the different aspects of her life there and how fucking hard it is to be a black woman working for Fox News, and also some of the ways that you go about it and like how she kind of a lot of people ask her in the show is like jumping through these mental gymnastics of being a black woman working for Fox News. And we do have people like that. So it's interesting seeing that character. So it kind of shows these four women going through their lives on this bus, through these press tours, going to the Iowa caucus, going to these fundraisers, going to these PAC events, and really following the media and their lives with it.
So, like, is it a comedy, drama,
So
like a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. It's a comedy drama, and the reason that I say that that it makes sense that the reviews are mixed is because it does start off very like girl bossy and like third wave feminist, like just like kind of we've seen this before, but and the show is only like I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in because there was only 4 or 5 episodes out. And what's interesting is like as the show goes on, we're seeing a lot more nuance. We're seeing a lot more conversations. We're seeing a lot more between the women and what they're saying. We're also seeing them fuck up and be complex characters. And so when I say it's interesting that there is mixed reviews, I'd say they probably only watched the first 1 or 2 episodes and then turned it off because they didn't see the full story develop. Because I do, I'm not sure because I'm not finished because it's not all out yet. But I do think that where the show is going is in a lot more nuanced and complex place than it starts. And I think that people just aren't giving it the chance because they aren't in on the joke, or they don't think that the joke is funny about this girl boss behavior.
All right, so like, what would you rate it?
I would rate it a good like 6.5 out of 10 so far. It's funny, it's interesting. I find it really interesting if you like seeing what's going on in the media, if you like seeing what's going on with politics and like kind of taking a little peek behind the curtain there. It's very interesting in that aspect. There's a lot of jargon in there that like I understand, but I don't know if like the modern consumer would understand because it's very like, but it does kind of explain it because you have the character Lola there who doesn't know any of this shit. She's not a part of the system. She's not a part of that. And so you see the other 3 women kind of like showing her the ropes a little bit, making fun of her, but then like getting into it. So like it starts out very catty and like I said, it's like imagine the 4 most annoying girls that you went to high school with fighting for valedictorian and sticking them on a bus together and just seeing what happens, but they're all fighting for the same grade. Like that's kind of how it starts, but it doesn't. It evolves into something more interesting and more complex and more nuanced. So it's just something really interesting to see. I'm really excited to see where it goes. But like I said, some critiques, probably a little thing, but they probably only saw the first episode.
Okay, so we talked about X-Men 97, which has still been a great TV show.
God, it's so
Highly
hot.
recommend. Keep watching. We also talked about a little bit of the Nickelodeon drama that's been going on. And so kind of want to just talk about, like, put a little feel-good moment. Our childhood as millennials, I think, is the best TV era for kids.
I feel like we were the first generation that media companies started looking at and been like, we can make money off of these kids.
Okay, like, I think this is when I became like an adult, was when I started to watch commercials that weren't all about toys. Like I thought, because that's all the commercials you see.
Also, like, I'm confused because I thought like we weren't supposed to be advertising directly to children, but like literally toy commercials on kids' channels.
Just nonstop. Like that Star thing, where like you put the lights on
Yes.
on the black thing. I wanted that so bad.
The bright light? Like,
Yeah,
I
bright
had,
light. Yeah, bright light.
I had one of those. It
Oh
was
my
so
God, you're
much
so
fun.
fucking
It was
cool.
so
Fuck
much fun.
you.
I always wanted, and I know this is really dumb, but do you remember the fushigi?
Yeah.
Fushigi! Oh,
Yes.
that's all I wanted.
I wanted a chia pet.
Oh, God.
Chia. Yes. And so like that's when I realized I'm an adult, because I was like, oh, we're talking about vitamin commercials and car insurance and things that are fucking boring.
Bob Hamilton Heating and Cooling.
Gosh, shout out Bob. The dude's rich. He's rich as hell.
Yeah, that's why he ran for office.
Bro, who was gonna vote for him?
Not the other Republican in the group, because it's really fun watching two Republicans fight. Anyways,
Especially when his name is Bob
Hamilton. Oh, Bob Hamilton Heating and Cooling. Anyways, but exactly. So I mean, we just kind of lost a little bit of that, and we lost a little bit of that shine, the sparkle, and we kind of want to get it back a little.
Yeah, so like I would say the one that I probably identify the most with is Cartoon Network.
Really?
I watched a lot of Cartoon Network.
I'm not gonna lie,
as a
I
kid.
also watched a lot of Cartoon Network as a kid. Toonami.
Toonami was probably one of the best things to ever happen. Like, because that introduced me to anime because of Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Sailor Moon, 100%. Inuyasha, like anything back in that, like
There was also
Cowboy Bebop, like.
There was one show that I watched a lot. It was like on afternoons, and I can't remember the name. It was like whenever you do remember when like Toonami was like doing afternoon shows, and like when we got off school, and it was called like Reload or something. And it was like
exactly
it
what
was
you're
like,
talking
and they were like computer programs and all that
Yes.
shit. One thing I did not get into that a lot of people did was Code Lyoko. I just like wasn't.
Same.
I just didn't really like
Same.
I don't know what it was about the animation, but do you know what I didn't get into? Totally Spies. I loved Totally Spies. I can understand why you wouldn't like Totally Spies.
No. I enjoyed some episodes,
But like, I mean, it was so girly pop that it like I can understand why.
But see, like Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, that's.
Mojo Jojo. My roommate called me Mojo all through college.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, at least they didn't call me that. That'll be hella racist. But.
Really? Mojo? Oh, because he's
Jojo.
a. See,
yeah. You
just
get it now.
It took me a while. I'm sorry, I'm not as racist as you'd like me to be.
Oh my god.
God.
But like, I love the new Powerpuff Girl. Old one. Okay, first of all, if you think about it, they beat the shit out of Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, they did. His brain was hanging out
like
all the time.
Exactly, bro. His brain
so
was
good.
hanging out. That's crazy.
Also, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Love
Scooby Doo was on
Okay,
Cartoon
the
Network.
Like my TikTok feed was like this like fake game that they made, and I just remember I started dying. I was just like, bro, that is the perfect because it's like it's so funny. It's just like, yeah, we don't understand what this dog is saying. But
I remember I videotaped. This was back in the day. VCR, recorded, videotaped, VHS. The Scrappy Doo marathon.
Yes,
leading
I know what you're
leading
talking about.
up to the premiere of Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, and I had it all on. I wish I could find those VHS tapes now because God, they'd be priceless. Because I mean, all those old commercials, all those old things. Like that was one thing. Is like we were kind of like poor, so we would record stuff on TV if we knew it was coming on, and we knew
kind of poor, bro. That's every nigga did that. Like,
not all. No, people had TiVo when we were kids. Rich people had TiVo.
Okay, we were never that rich to have TiVo.
I never had DVR.
You know what's crazy? TiVo's gone. Like that. Like
I mean,
'cause-
DVR
'cause
and
everybody
streaming.
was like, oh, we can just record this shit.
Yeah.
And like TiVo's just gone in an instant. But like, I loved like Scooby Doo, kids Scooby Doo, like when they were little kids.
A pup named Scooby Doo. Girl, get it right.
Yes.
I just remember this like one very specific episode of A Pup Named Scooby Doo. There was this evil like ghost, and he was a French chef.
Oh,
and he would just like sacre bleu, like, and that was his thing, and it was just a constant in my mind. So like, I really liked Cartoon Network as a kid.
Like Codename Kids Next Door.
Oh.
Love that. Okay,
so
to
good.
be honest, like that is like.
See, you asked me this
great.
earlier. You asked
that
me
is great fucking story telling, character development. Like that is like peak fart jokes.
And it's
like,
but then also existential dread of growing up.
Yes.
Like because once you become an adult, like you become a crazy person, and like that's the whole thing. It was fun.
It was very fun. Samurai Jack,
Ooh.
phenomenal. We also have. Oh my god, I'm blanking. I know exactly what I want to say. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Yes.
Oh, I love that show. God. See, Cartoon Network was. I think Cartoon Network really did have it reined in on cartoons. I think they do. But like even going into a more like Justice League, Justice League Unlimited, Teen Titans.
Teen Titans is probably I would probably put top 5 animated shows of all time. Top 5, maybe like definitely top 10.
It was fan fucking tastic, and I just like I really do think that Cartoon Network did hold a little bit of a monopoly on cartoons. However,
Nickelodeon.
I would say the runner-up would be Nickelodeon. Maybe this is just our nostalgia talking because like Nickelodeon had SpongeBob.
Like as much as I think
and Avatar.
Okay, I think Avatar is the greatest animated like series of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has the best story, best plot, everything. But SpongeBob is the biggest goat of all time cuz I still use SpongeBob quotes today.
Yes.
Like
The lid. That's I'm annoying in that.
Wombo.
The study of wombology.
Wombo. Bro, what are you talking about, Patrick, bro? Like Mr. Krabs, like oh my god, bro, like the grandma episode.
I'm still look, here's the thing. I'm still seeing conspiracy theories on TikTok about SpongeBob because you know I recently saw this. Okay, it was a conspiracy theory that whenever Mr. Krabs had a daughter who was a whale, and the theory is that he found Pearl when she was a child next to her dead mother. And do you know what has a lot of meat? Dead whales and a lot and
that's what Krabby Patties are made out of.
That's the secret ingredient for Krabby Patties is Pearl's mother. But that's what I'm saying is like we're still getting shit. You
know, this show is goated when you're literally okay with watching a training video of them just teaching you about how to be a worker at the Krusty Krab.
Look, it's to the point where Ariana Grande is dating the guy who played SpongeBob in SpongeBob the Musical on Broadway.
Like, why does SpongeBob have a musical? Like, that's the real question.
Okay, Spider-Man has one too, but people said it was pretty bad. But
also the songs are fucking F is for friends who do stuff together.
U is for you and me.
Bro, that's a bar.
N is for anywhere, anytime at all. Here in the deep blue sea. We remember that shit, and that's what's stupid.
C-A-M-P-F-R-E-S-O-N-G song. Like
C-A-M-P-F-R-E-S.
again. So like, but I also think that like Nickelodeon still had a lot of other shows that like, Hey Arnold. Love Hey Arnold.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
That was like a lot of.
Don't understand why it's not bigger than it is.
So in queer communities, it is a lot of people. I don't know. There's a lot of gay men who had a crush on Danny Phantom when we were kids, and he's like recently popped up a lot. I actually again saw today on Twitter a fan cast of Tom Holland as Danny Phantom. And somebody was, and then somebody,
I can see it. I can definitely see
somebody
it.
replied underneath, that man is almost 30. We need a twink, not a twas. And I was like, God damn, gay people are so mean.
Yeah, I would also
And like,
agree.
honestly, yeah, it needs to be a 14-year-old boy, not Tom Holland. Tom Holland's not 14 anymore. Everyone needs to remember
Nah, I
that.
need like a solid 20. Solid 20.
Like him as an adult.
No, he's not an adult. There's a 20-year-old playing
A 14-year-old,
Yes.
great, because that hasn't caused any problems in most people's ideas anyway.
Yeah, but like Danny Phantom, I loved Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents was a very
Cosmo, Wanda, like
I don't know if
Fairly Odd Parents.
I don't know if you saw they like recently did like a twist. Like they're like still putting out episodes every now and then.
They did like a reality, like a real show.
Well, starring
Yeah.
Drake Bell, which is
Yeah.
But
I watched it. It was terrible.
I did not watch it because I was like, I don't think that I don't know who this is for. And
I really don't know who
I was
this
like,
is for.
I think it's for me, but I think they missed the point.
Yeah, they also once they had the baby, I was just like, okay,
Yeah,
not
poof.
interesting.
It wasn't fun for me anymore. But I think that's also when we kind of started growing up.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
But one of the greatest crossovers was Fairly Odd Parents
and Jimmy Neutron.
Okay, like being honest,
that was fucking crazy.
Jimmy Neutron the movie is not talked about enough.
No, and Jimmy Neutron. I mean, even the show. I loved the show.
Literally every. I think it premiered on Fridays, and every Friday, I was there watching it
with Sheen and Carl. God, I loved Libby. Libby was my favorite.
Libby's
I was like, she's fantastic. No one can hurt her. She's just perfection. She's like, I want to be hot, and she's like, and you all are really making that difficult. I remember the biggest thing is remember the evil pizza?
Yes. Yes. Do you remember
so
the evil
stupid.
pants?
Yes.
Pants because of the star.
God. Oh my God. That
Oh my
show.
God,
Remember when
yes.
Carl got pregnant? Remember when Carl got pregnant with an alien baby? Yeah, that's what we watched as children.
God. No, but like loved that. Like, but again, Avatar.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is just perfection. And then Legend of Korra after that. Oh.
People give Korra too much hate. It's a great, great show.
I think people give Korra too much hate because they hate women. And she's a
100%.
She's a strong, unabashed brown woman, and surprise, surprise, the masses don't like that.
Did hate the ending though.
Interesting. We can get into that in another
Yeah.
episode.
But I also what sucked me in a lot on Friday nights was the Disney Channel movies.
Disney Channel original DComs.
Okay, like I would say Cartoon Network probably had the best cartoons.
Yes.
Like Ben 10, forgot to shout out Ben 10.
Ben 10. Oh,
Shout
and
out Ben 10.
I really want to go back and rewatch because they like made like 4 different shows off of that.
Yes.
And I kind of want to just like
There's
go
a
back.
there's a huge universe for Ben 10.
Yes, and it's very interesting. But
I think that Nickelodeon has the best real shows like Ned's Declassified,
iCarly,
Zoe 101,
yes.
like Drake and Josh, all that, Amanda Show. Like we can keep going on for days.
Yep.
But I think the best movies by far is Disney Channels, and I'm not talking like Lion King movies. Like I'm like
The Luck of the Irish.
Yeah.
Smart House. Those movies shaped honestly my entire sense of humor, and also just like what I enjoy in movies.
Yes.
Cheetah Girls.
Cheetah Girls.
Cheetah Girls was a worldwide phenomenon.
Remember, the ultimate one. High School Musical.
High School Musical.
High School Musical.
That's, I mean, it's so like even now, every time we're like feeling stressed at work, I'll pull up "We're All in This Together" GIF in this chat.
Yeah,
because it's like, and everyone knows the choreography.
The thing about Disney Channel, we were all there.
Yeah,
we all like everybody because again, I was too young to be doing anything on a Friday night.
No,
I was too young.
And it's not like my parents on a Friday night wanted to like, take the kids out.
No, they were gone. They were gone. But I remember because the week leading up, they would always show what movie's about to come out.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm here.
It's really
7:00, I'm here.
It's really interesting within these kids shows though, because they do self-promote so hard.
Yes.
But it makes sense. But I mean, even like leading up to the Disney Channel original movies, if they had a single that was being released alongside it with Hollywood Records, and they would do the music video, and like that music video would be like every other commercial. I remember Cinderella with Cheetah Girls. I remember that one was coming out along with like Read It and Weep, that one with their like
yes. Also, Halloween Town.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Can't forget Halloween Town.
I mean, the whole
Witches or Twitches came out.
The whole Halloween, like for me, Halloween movies are like, it's kind of fucked up because it's like deeply traumatizing horror movies or Disney Channel Channel Halloween movies, because they were just so fun and so magical. I do a Halloween Town rewatch every year.
Yeah.
Twitches, Don't Look Under the Bed. It was a really good one. Almost a little too scary, but I think that kids need to be exposed to kid-friendly horror more nowadays.
Yeah. I agree, because these kids are really watching fucked up shit at a young age.
Because they're interested, and like we watch horror movies because they're interested, and like I think that like kids need to be exposed to. So what's interesting about this is like there's obviously a very specific and interesting place for children's media and what children are seeing.
Yeah.
And what we saw as kids, because there was some stuff that we watched as kids that like we probably shouldn't have. Like I'm thinking like Ren and Stimpy, like stuff like that, where it was like, or like
Stimpy was fucked
Chicken
up.
and Cow. Do you remember Chicken and Cow? Cow and Chicken. Sorry. Yeah. But like that, there was literally like episodes banned off the air forever because of how like overtly sexual they were.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting seeing like that aspect of it is like where we've come now. But I think that like what is interesting about it is my biggest take on modern children's television is there's no narrative plot. It's super fast, like just random splashes of color here and there. All of the and what they talk about, like paying attention, all of the scenes and all of the thing are like 3-second cuts, because one, they're cheaper to animate that way, and two, it helps break up that attention span and like what catching kids and making sure we're getting that. But I think that I think we're losing a lot of that middle area where for like 10 to like 15-year-olds. Like I don't see a lot of that anymore. Disney, I will say, has been doing a little bit with like Andy Mack, because that show, when that show came out and I heard about it, I was like, that's crazy, because I was babysitting this like.
But also, you could say like X-Men '97 would probably be in that realm.
Yes.
Like, yes, it's a continuation of like what we kind of grew up on. But at the same time, you can say that its target audience should be 10 to 15-year-old.
But it's a little more mature, and I think that a lot of like modern children's media is it's dumbing it down, and it's like we're not asking our kids to think.
We need more shows like Proud Family.
Yes,
love Proud Family. Love me some Kim Possible.
Sugar Mama.
Sugar
Mama.
Judy!
I put my foot in it.
Judy! Oh my God, I loved Proud Family. Like my mom, she did not like to watch animated shows with me at all. She would sit down and watch Proud Family with me though.
That's good.
She was like, this is funny.
It was funny. It is funny.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious.
Like it was.
Have you seen the new Proud Family?
I haven't really dove into it yet. Is it good?
I've watched a couple episodes. It's all right.
I don't know. It just doesn't hit like it used to. I tried to. Yeah, we're adults now, and I think that's what's like the sad part is like. You're just like, this is fun, but like Wizard Kelly just isn't that as funny when you're an adult.
But let's give a real shout out to probably one of my favorite like channels. Got me up every Saturday morning.
Ooh, I know what this is
WB.
Kids WB.
Kids WB. Like people don't talk about it enough.
No,
and I love Kids WB.
Well, and so what's interesting about Kids WB is like it had a lot of different shows from like different things, and it was like different properties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was kind of that. So like Kids WB had Pokemon, which was like,
which again,
are you kidding me?
Pokemon.
Like it's Pokemon. Like get out.
I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. Like, like how many, because of that show. I was born after when the original Pokemon came out. And so like for me to like really get into Pokemon, it wasn't like the video game because I didn't have a Game Boy Color, I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, I didn't have any of that at first.
Oh, really?
At first.
Those are the video games I did have. I didn't have anything that hooked up to a TV. I had my Game Boy. I had a DS or I had a Game Boy Color. Like
I had the Nintendo 64 was my first console.
Oh, I did have a Nintendo 64,
Yes.
but that's as far as it went.
And I didn't know about all this this game. Like I played Pokemon Coliseum, but like I didn't know about it until that anime came out. I think it's like 1999.
Something like that.
And when I saw Pikachu, I was like, what the fuck is that?
And where can I get one?
Where can I get one? And then I watched every movie. Pokemon 1, 2000, 3. Like I watched, like I grew, that made me fall in love with Pokemon.
So for my 6th birthday, I was 6, it was the year 2000, right? Yeah. 2000. I got a gold Game Boy Color with Pikachu and Pichu on it.
Nice.
And the little red light up that like the power light up was Pikachu's cheek.
Yeah.
And it was so
perfect.
I felt so hot. And then I also had Pokemon Gold, which was my first game. I didn't have red or blue. I was a little like younger at the time, but I had gold and it fit right into my gold thing. I felt so hot as a 6-year-old. I was like, this is it.
100%. Like I got into the trading card games because of it. Also, that's where Yu-Gi-Oh got premiered.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that's where Yu-Gi-Oh was.
I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Fuck out of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Watched it. I feel so bad because I had so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards and like original Yu-Gi-Oh cards that probably today are worth actual real money.
I have to find them.
And I specifically remember, I think I was like 4th, 5th grade. And I literally had a garage sale and just sold them for $0.25.
Oh my God.
$0.25 a card.
I think I still have them somewhere in a box. I have to find them. They're in storage somewhere. But I mean, that was back in the like trading card. Like now that I think about it,
I really don't know when this like trading card got really big. I really don't know.
I don't know when it got really big, but I think Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh really pushed it to the forefront of like pop culture.
Yeah.
Because like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, like they had their places, but I think because so many kids wanted
love Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh,
they wanted
because of the TV shows. That now it's pop culture and it's okay.
Yes.
That if I'm a Jake Paul, that I'm going to spend millions of dollars for this one Charizard.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes there are TikTok lives where they're just opening packs of Pokemon cards, and I'll sit there and kind of just watch it for a little bit.
And then you're just like,
but yeah,
you watch it for like a minute. And you're like, bro, you're still opening and still not finding anything good. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I don't know. But then I was like, what would happen if I went and bought Pokemon cards? And I'm like, no, you're almost 30. Stop.
No, same. Because like this one live dude, he was like, bro, you can go to Costco right now. They have like these packs for super cheap when usually they're this much.
And like my lizard brain is like, really?
Exactly.
And then my frontal lobe kicks in and it's like, you have bills to pay. Stop.
Bro, you're not playing fucking Pokemon with anybody.
I was like, I'm not even playing I never even played the game. I could not tell you how to play the trading card game for Pokemon. No idea.
No,
I just collected them.
Swear to God, I used to go to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments as a kid.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
The Yu-Gi-Oh was fun.
Crap ton of Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's kind of hot.
Shaolin Showdown.
Shaolin Showdown.
It's probably one of my favorites.
With the Shangong Wu.
Yeah, the Shangong Wu.
Bitch, I loved Shaolin Showdown. God. It's so good. I actually rewatched some of it. I think some of it's on Prime, or it was on Prime.
Is it really?
Yeah. Jackie Chan Adventures is on one of
Adventures is amazing.
Now, I need to know, did you ever watch X-Men Evolution?
Yeah.
Oh,
duh.
I loved X-Men Evolution. I thought it was a really good modern take at the time of X-Men.
What was Gargoyles on?
I think that was Disney Channel, early Disney Channel.
Yeah, probably.
I think that was like early, or it was that what we were talking about earlier. That there was this other one.
Yeah.
It was called One Saturday Mornings on ABC. It was Disney's One Saturday Mornings on ABC, and they showed original programming on Saturday mornings. I think to compete with Warner Brothers and the Kids WB. But there were a lot of shows that premiered there. Am I right?
Yep, you're right.
Hell yeah! There were a lot of shows that premiered over on ABC and that ended up over on Disney Channel. So a lot of people think one of the most popular ones, Recess, that was premiered over on ABC or Disney's One Saturday Mornings on ABC. What was Batman the Animated Series on?
Fox Kids. First premiered on Fox Kids. It
Fox
was made by
Kids.
Warner Brothers, but first aired on Fox Kids.
That's really interesting because I remember there's Fox Kid. There's also Fox
Yes.
Family, which became ABC Family when we
Yep.
were young. ABC Family.
All this logo is bringing me back.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, goated.
So I need to tell you something. My mom didn't allow me to watch Power
No,
Rangers.
Are you fucking serious?
Because she worked at a daycare and at the daycare she was sick and tired of all of these kids playing Power Rangers and then just beating the shit out of each other.
I was Power Rangers for Halloween probably like 4 years in a row.
Weren't you Power Rangers for Halloween like 2 years ago?
Again, that's how goated the show is.
I did so that's the thing is like I never really watched it as a kid because I wasn't allowed to. But
I wasn't allowed to watch Johnny Bravo.
I was allowed to watch Johnny Bravo, but I wasn't allowed to watch Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, bro, we didn't talk about Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter's goat.
We didn't talk about it because I didn't watch it. I wasn't allowed to.
I also wasn't supposed to watch Ed and Eddie.
I wasn't allowed to
Definitely
watch
did.
that in any.
Definitely still did.
I was such a goody two shoes. I listened to my parents.
Johnny Bravo, my mom was like, he's just womanizing women. And I was
See,
just like,
my parents didn't care about that because they were like, "You're a child." They cared about like my mom. There was one time where I was grounded from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, specifically that show for 6 months because my mom felt I was catching too much of an attitude from it.
Bro, what? From who?
Zack and Cody were
No. Who's he's not the butler. He's the head.
yeah, I know
the
who you're talking
manager.
about. Mosley.
Mosby. Yes.
Mosby. What about him? What's your question?
That's where the attitude came from.
No, my parents, I was raised in a very a stricter upbringing, and anything that portrayed kids disobeying their parents or authority in an outright blatant way was very frowned upon. Like I wasn't allowed to watch Rugrats because those kids were disrespectful.
Okay. I would say, so you know how earlier we talked about like how like I forgot, it might have been a practice run or whatever. We talked about how like men sometimes don't have like emotions for like some like movies.
Mm-hmm.
Certain movies, they're like men don't show as much emotion as like other like women.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it's because some of those men probably didn't watch Rugrats 1 or 2. Because when I saw fucking Tommy almost kill his fucking little brother,
Yeah.
I almost cried. When Chucky, I did cry. When Chucky found his mom, how do you not cry at that scene? How do you not feel that emotion and feel that?
You never see it because you're not allowed to.
Shout out to Rugrats. How the fuck are you not allowed to watch Rugrats? A show about toddlers.
It was a show about toddlers who were acting up, and my mom didn't like that.
Bro.
I'm not kidding. Like it was so
What?
like the rules were so flimsy at best. And like, but you know what else? You know what else I was watching as a child?
What?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But my mom's reasoning was that she was fighting evil, and so that made it okay.
But Rugrats are just
Girl,
living.
Christian Olympic gymnastics are a thing, and like
Oh
I had to
my
go through. I had to
God.
go through it, and it was like again very specific. Like I was not allowed to watch Secret Life of Zack and Cody for 6 months, and I had to beg my mom. It's like, Mom, I promise I won't be a bad kid anymore. Just let me fucking watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
So, guys, tell us, what was your favorite shows growing up from those channels? Because There's just so
There's a
many.
lot.
We could go on for days.
God, I honestly.
So tell us, what's your favorite shows? Please put it in the comments. Remember, this is Double Trouble Features. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts. You can catch us on Spotify. And, of course, YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Joe.
Peace!